classical model of universe, we do not say why gravity exists. All we say is that gravity is the property of a mass, but we do not try and find out what is the business of this mass to attract another mass. Why should it attract another mass in the first place? So, let us be a bit more harsh on Manthan or alternate model of universe. Let us try and find out why should there be spacity. We cannot just say it is a property of space. We need to find out what is the business of space that it is bringing two masses together. For that, we need to understand how space interacts with all other elements of the universe. So, let us see how space interacts with energy, matter, life and time. When you put energy into space, we know that the energy dissipates. That means the space is having a negative effect on the energy. Let us see what happens when you put matter in space. When you roll a ball in space, it moves as long as it has inertia, but over a period of time it stops. That means space is having a negative effect on matter also. You put a life in space, obviously it dies. We have not yet come across a life which feeds on space. We may find a mass either existing on debris or the surface of a satellite, but surely a life cannot exist in absolute space. That means it has to feed on space. That does not happen so. So, space has a negative effect on the life also. Space does not directly have an effect on time, but in the presence of a massive mass like planet, star, galaxies, black holes, we know that space does have a negative effect on time. We know a clock in space ticks faster than a clock on Earth, as is evidenced in GPS repositioning. So, in a way what we are saying is space has a negative effect on everything in the universe, and what we see here is matter and life are nothing but another form of matter, energy. So, space itself is having a tussle between all forms of energy. So, and then that we see whichever element that you take in the universe, you can put in the bins of space, energy and time. So, these would be three prerequisites. Just the way you need energy, space and time of yours or of the labor to build a beautiful home, equally importantly you need energy, space and time to build a universe. Just the way space and time depend on energy. If there is no energy, you can't buy a space, you can't, neither can you buy labor to build a house. In the same way, if energy is not there, space and time do not exist. Space and time depend on energy. So, though these are the three prerequisites to build a universe, energy is the first among equals. So, when we have such inferences, we will try to put it in the form of a Venn diagram. So, energy is the first among equals, so that is the bigger diameter. Space and time depend on energy, so they are the subsets. Space does not have direct effect on time, that is why they are not touching each other, but it is having an indirect effect in the presence of energy. And there is a tussle between space and energy all the time. So, as time progresses, you can see the increased diameter of the time, the space also increases, but you can see the diameter of the energy reduces, but the total energy of this system does not change. It is only moving from energy to space to time. Energy is dissipating, but space and time are growing. So, this whole circle is basically existence. You remove existence, what you have is nothingness. So, existence in a way is in a cocoon called as nothingness. Now, what do we understand from the classical model of universe? In classical model of universe, we know that it all started from Big Bang. where the energy was infinite energy, and we say that before Big Bang there was nothingness, and then there was space inflation, and then the expanding universe as of now that we know. And it is said that in future possibly the universe may collapse onto each other because the gravity may pull the whole universe back and put. But you can try and see here, in an expanding universe, as the matters go far away from each other, the effect of gravity is reducing. So the chances of gravity pulling the whole universe back is very, very less, but compared to, look at the spacity. Space as time progresses is increasing in strength at the cost of energy. A time will come when this space, which is always in tussle with energy, will overpower energy, it will fight back and it will win over energy and put the energy back into nothingness. So in a way what is happening is, the infinite energy is escaping from the bottle of nothingness like a genie, and it is the space, as is seen with the tussle between all forms of energy, it is trying to put the infinite energy back into nothingness. And there is one more important thing that the space is trying to do. To begin with, the energy was at infinite level, and it is bringing back energy to infinite level back when the cycle ends. Because when it is bringing all the matter in the universe, because matter is nothing but another form of energy, when it is bringing it back to zero volume, because at nothingness the energy, space and time do not exist. That means space is zero. So when you are bringing all that mass to zero volume, that means you are converting it to pure infinite energy. So what inference that we get from this Manthan cycle, it is the space mandate to put energy back into nothingness. Since it has to act on, to do that, it has to act on all forms of energy, and mass is just another form of energy. And since it is acting on every form of energy, mass being one of the forms, the result of this mandate is expressed as spacity. So when you see a mass in the space, you should not see it in isolation. This mass is being held by space, and this space is acting on this mass.